Ex-military. What completely normal military behavior horrified your civilian friends? When I got out of the army, I thought the hardest part of adjusting to civilian life would be finding a job. Turns out, the real challenge was realizing that half the stuff we did in the military is apparently concerning to normal people. The first time it happened, I was hanging out with a few coworkers from my new job at an auto shop. We were outside, grilling, just talking about work, when a car backfired down the street. Before anyone could blink, I had already crouched low and scanned for cover, completely automatic. I didn't even realize I'd done it until I looked up and saw everyone staring like I'd just dodged an invisible bullet. One guy said, "Dude, are you okay?" I just shrugged. "Yeah, just a car backfire." He said, "You dove behind the grill." After that, I started noticing smaller things like how I always sit with my back to the wall at restaurants, or how I can't walk through a parking lot without scanning rooftops and exits. To me, it's just muscle memory. To civilians, it looks like paranoia. But the moment that really freaked them out came a few months later. We were doing a company barbecue out in the woods. Just a fun team thing. I got there early to help set up. One of the guys was struggling to start a campfire. He poured half a gallon of lighter fluid on it and then stood there waving a match like a mad scientist. I told him, there's a better way. He laughed and said, "Oh yeah, Mr. Army Survivalist, show us how it's done." Challenge accepted. So I grabbed a small canister of diesel from my truck, just a habit I'd picked up from field training, and a roll of toilet paper. I twisted the paper into a wick, dipped it, and said, "You light this from a distance." Then I tossed it onto the woodpile. Boom. Instant fireball. The flames shot up 6 feet high, and everyone screamed and jumped back. I just smiled and said, "There you go. Controlled burn." One of my coworkers yelled, "Controlled? You nearly burned off my eyebrows?" I said, "Controlled's relative. You should see what we used to light in Afghanistan." They didn't laugh. After that, I started realizing just how different my definition of normal had become. Like, I still clean my tools like I'm doing a weapons inspection. I label everything in my garage like it's an armory. I even keep my shoes lined up by the door with the toes pointing out. My buddy came over once and asked, "Why do your shoes look like they're in basic training?" I said, "So I can put them on fast if I need to move." He said, "Move where? The fridge?" Probably the funniest reaction, though, was when a raccoon tipped over my trash cans one night. The noise woke me up around 3 a.m. I jumped out of bed, grabbed my flashlight, and cleared the yard like I was back on patrol. Swept corners, checked shadows, light off between scans. I thought I was being quiet, until my neighbor saw me through the window, wearing boxers and tactical boots, whispering, "Clear," to nobody. Next morning she came by and said, "Were you hunting someone last night?" I said, "Yeah, raccoon. He escaped." That story spread through the whole block. Now my friends always joke that I have combat instincts, but the truth is, they're not jokes to me. It's just how I was wired for years. Situational awareness, precision, preparation, that stuff doesn't turn off when you get your DD-214. To civilians, it looks like paranoia. To vets, it's just Tuesday. Still, I try to tone it down a bit. These days, if a car backfires, I just flinch instead of diving for cover. And when someone asks how I'd start a fire, I just hand them the lighter and say, "You go ahead," because apparently blowing up the fire pit is not team building.